Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this is all about a guy, he's 28 years old, and he's going to share his story about how his ex-girlfriend, who was a complete train wreck, I might add, who, when he was together with her, and they ever had fights or arguments or disagreements, she'd go cheat on him. You know, really great communicator, real healthy relationship there. They eventually broke up, and lo and behold, to no surprise, she one day discovers, surprise, that she's pregnant. And now that she's pregnant, she wants this guy to come back in her life and be the baby daddy, to be the father to the child. Well, okay, she wants him to be the father of the child, the real father, because the baby daddy, well, he's not exactly the best material to be a father. And even worse, this guy's mother and sister are pushing him to step up, no exaggeration there, and to do this for this girl. And the reason is because the mother and this ex-girlfriend's mother are best friends, and his sister and this girl are best friends, and they all kind of grew up together, and they think this is what he should do. Ridiculous, okay? And the good thing is he knows this, all right? But he's sharing his story about this just to warn guys, this type of stuff that I talk about does happen. And also the big issue is that his mother and sister keep pressuring him. They won't leave him alone. So there's very important lessons in this story, guys. In no particular order I want you to pay attention to. Number one, don't be a white knight. Don't be a Captain Save-A, you know what, garden tool 304. You know the code. How the gals will stick together always. His mother and sister obviously know that she's a train wreck, but they don't care about him and his future. They just want him to do this because obviously in their warped mind, they want to be a big happy family because, you know, the mom and the mothers are friends and the sister and that girl are friends. It's ridiculous. They don't care about him. They care about the girl. You know, at the end of the day, they stick together. This is why guys got to stick together. And last but not least, as you're going to see this, what happens when people perceive weakness in you? When people perceive weakness, perceive you as being weak, they try to take advantage of you and try to press you into doing stuff. And you're going to see here that the mother and sister obviously perceive this guy as being kind of weak, which is why they won't leave him the hell alone. This is why, guys, you need to always stick to your guns, project strength, and if anybody's trying to pressure you to do things you don't want to do, understand that there is some level of weakness they perceive you as being, and you can't allow that to happen. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to get right into this. But before I forget, I want to let you guys know that tomorrow I got a very big announcement I'm going to make. An announcement that a lot of you guys are very much going to be interested in. And so be sure to look out for a video specifically towards this announcement. And no, before any of you guys write in the comment section, no, I'm not going to be a father. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, so if any of you smart asses want to type that in the comment section, you know, no, that's not going to be the issue. But anyhow, be on the lookout for a specific video tomorrow morning about the announcement before the regular 12 o'clock video. So, but anyhow, getting into this guy starts off saying, "Hi SSM, I was listening to one of your stories the other day, and I just couldn't help but relate it to something similar that is currently happening to me. Some advice from you and your viewers would be much appreciated." He says, "Please note that English is not my first language, so sorry if I have a bad English." Well, bro, I've read your story a couple times. You did a pretty good job, so I fixed a couple little things, but no problem. He says, "I'm 28 years old, and I dated Z." Z is obviously code for his ex-girlfriend, who's 31-year-old female, on and off again for a couple years. We always broke up because I wouldn't put a ring on her finger, and also because she liked to sleep around with other dudes every time we got into an argument. Well, that's a real healthy relationship. Instead of actually her communicating with this guy, whatever the problem may be, like adults, she just got angry and went out and hooked up with some other dude. Okay, you can see why this girl is the ex-girlfriend. Guys, if you have a girlfriend right now, you're dating someone that's like this, who can't communicate, it can't resolve problems, and her only way of dealing with it is going out there and essentially punishing you, then you're with the wrong girl. End it right now and walk away and never have anything to do with her again. And never get involved or stay with a woman like this, because there's going to be never-ending problems. I mean, what self-respecting guy would be with a gal like this? But obviously he stuck around when this bullshit happened a few times. So it shows, you know, no offense to the guy writing the story, but he obviously displayed weakness many a times, which is no surprise why the ex-girlfriend is going to be coming back to him to raise the child of some other dude. And of course the situation with the sister and mother. Big mistake. And good for you, bro, for not putting a ring on her finger. You don't need that bullshit. He says, I just want to add that I never slept with anyone else while I was dating her. In other words, you have some actually integrity. You're a good guy. You're going to try to work on the problem. To be honest, you had every right to, given the fact of what she did, but you tried to actually resolve the issue like an adult. So good for you. And I'm glad you're done with this nut job. For now, I hope. He says, she and I would always get back together because our families were so close. Her mother and my mother were childhood friends, and my sister and her are best friends. But once I started seeing E, this is a new girl, a 26-year-old female, I lost interest in Z altogether, but she and I kept in touch as friends. Well, that's a mistake. I would have nothing to do with this girl. And yeah, okay, fine, she's BFFs with your sister, and her mom are friends, but that doesn't mean you have to have her in your life, okay? Because she's a train wreck, okay? And I'm glad you eventually stopped seeing her and moved on to some other girl. To be honest, if she was a good girlfriend and simply you guys broke up because, just it wasn't going anywhere, you had different life goals, or I don't know what, and it was the breakup was amicable, then okay, you could be acquaintances, you see her from time to time, that's fine. But given how she treated you and her history of drama and BS, I wouldn't have anything to do with this broad. And you're going to see how this comes back to bite him in the butt. During Christmas last year, I brought E home for a family dinner with Z and her mom there as well. Yeah, I'm sure that was awkward. As I could feel the negativity around my house, though no one would say anything. When I was about to leave, my mother and sister asked if they could speak to me alone. They asked me about my relationship with Z. They already knew. I told them that Z and I were never serious enough to marry and that she had cheated several times on me. My mother was a bit disappointed but understood why I never chose to marry her. My sister, on the other hand, tried to justify Z's actions but also understood that I was not going to marry her. So she's defending her friend who was cheating on her brother. So much for blood is thicker than water, so much for family first, okay? And not to mention the fact that the sister is justifying her cheating, okay? Again, the old joke about women and accountability, right? No, there is no excuse. But she's defending the girl. So that ought to tell him everything he's... At least the mother at least pretended to say she understood. But you're going to see here, at the end of the day, where the loyalty lies. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that once I left with E, my mother and sister began gossiping with Z and her mother. E and Z, you need to come up with E and Z sound too similar. Some of my viewers are going to be mixing them up. Should have been, instead of E, maybe like K or C or whatever the hell it is. But anyhow, I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened, but I think that Z and my sister had a month-long alcohol, Netflix, and chill binge the moment COVID limits relaxed in our area. How did I come to this assumption? I checked my sister's social media, and they kept using hashtag #HotGirlSpring, a play on the Hot Girl Summer, which in my opinion seems pretty sad for a bunch of 30-year-old girls. 30-year-old women. Yeah, Hot Girl Spring, they're in their 30s now. That ship has sailed. They may look good for their 30s, but come on here. And you know what? Grow up. That was that song that was popular in the summer of 2019, which I thought, in my opinion, was pure garbage. Here it goes on. E and I fizzled out after Christmas because I wanted her to focus on her career, and I wanted to finish my master's degree. He says in parentheses, it's on hold right now, but I'm hoping to finish it soon, with the hopes of reuniting when both of us are ready somewhere along the line. Well, good for you, man. Focus on your purpose. That master's degree and getting yourself somewhere in this world, that's your top priority. And if it works, if you and this girl who you like works out one day, cool. If it doesn't, okay, so what? There's almost 8 billion people on the planet, half for men, half for women. You got plenty of options out there. But, yeah, focus on you. I cannot stress that enough for all you young guys. Well, all you guys. Now we're going to get into the crazy part. When my mom found out that E and I broke up, she called and asked to talk about something serious. I FaceTimed her, and she broke the news that Z was pregnant and didn't know who the father was. Well, there's a big surprise. But my question would be, Mom, how is this my concern? How is it at all my concern, my problem, that my ex-girlfriend is pregnant and doesn't know who the daddy is? Where are you going with this? Because it isn't his concern. It's none of his business. He shouldn't be involved. That's her problem. That's the guy who got her pregnant's problem, not his. But Mom has bigger plans. My mother was hoping that I could step up, these are the words she's using, that I could step up and marry her to give her and her child a complete family. I laughed because I thought it was a bad joke, but apparently it wasn't, and she begged me to at least meet with Z before anything else. You gotta be kidding me. He told his mom flat out that she used to regularly cheat on him. Whenever they would have a argument or disagreement, she would just handle the situation by running out and cheating on him. What makes the mother think that she's going to be any different? Right? That, oh, now that she's a mom and a wife, then that means that she'll go down the straight and narrow. Right? No. Because people don't change. Once a cheater, always a cheater. That's how she learned to deal with problems, and she'll do the same thing. But mom doesn't care about her son. The mom cares about the girl more. Right? Or this warped idea, we're going to have this big happy family because the mother's best friend, she's the daughter of the mother's best friend, blah, blah, blah. No, it's ridiculous. I didn't want anything to do with Z at this point, but I knew my sister and mother would push me to do so. I reluctantly sucked it up and met her at a local Starbucks. Smack. Bro, you should never have done that. Ever. Okay? The reason they pressured you is because your mom and sister, one way or another, saw weakness. And they figured they could bug you enough to get you to at least meet the girl, okay? No. You got to correct that, okay? You need to start projecting strength that you're not going to be pushed or persuaded to do anything that you don't want to do. You didn't want to meet with this girl. She's not your problem, and yet you let the mom and sister bug you enough to go down and meet with her. No, you should never have done that, man, okay? And for any of you guys watching this in a situation where anybody tries to pressure you to do something that you don't want to do, never give in, because that's just going to encourage them to try to push you to do other things that you don't want to do later on down the road, as you're going to see right here. So this is a perfect example I talked about in the beginning about weakness. Understand that, guys. Anyway, he goes to meet her anyway, and he says she brought her freaking mom, my mom, and my sister to our meeting. This really made me frustrated, but at this point, I just wanted to get along with it. Smack. So, smack number 2. You shouldn't have gone along with this, and then now you get there, and the girl brings her mom, his mom, and his sister all there to just bug him, and he wanted to get out of there, but he just went along with it. No, you shouldn't have done that. You should have walked and left. You should have said flat out, look, I wasn't going to do this to begin with, but I didn't want to do this to begin with. I'm doing this as a favor, and now I get here. I'm supposed to meet with just the girl, and now you guys all show up to corner him, right? Not cool. But again, the demonstration of how they perceive him. Guys, when women see weakness in a man, they are going to exploit it, as you can see right here. Even your own family. So don't be that way. And I'm not trying to be a jerk to this guy who wrote the story, but I got to make my point here. Anyhow. So Z started out apologizing for her past actions against me and that she really does love me and how she just slept around the past to hurt me, but now sees that her actions were wrong. Oh, now she really loves him and all that. It's because she's pregnant, because she needs someone to help take care of the child, someone to pay the bills, so all of a sudden she's very, very sorry. And flat out said that she used to cheat on him to punish him. You know, again, who wants to be with someone like that? She's not going to change. Mark my words. The second she has that child, loses the baby weight, and the second this guy doesn't do what she wants to do, she'll go back to her old ways. Mark my words. He says, I cut her off and said that I was glad she apologized, but I told her now I can't marry her. I can't marry her now, especially since I do not want to be a father to someone else's child. Good for you. Okay, I'm going to take back the second smack because, you stood up for yourself there. Good for you. Darn right. It's not your responsibility to raise this guy's child. She needs to contact the guy who got her pregnant, and it can be his responsibility to help take care of the child and so on and so forth. Not this guy here. This guy should not change his whole life to raise somebody else's child with his ex-girlfriend, who is an ex-girlfriend for a reason. This is ridiculous, but Truth is stranger than fiction. Goes on. This upset her, but my freaking family started to comfort her and kept trying to push for this crazy idea. So they're not standing up for him, they're standing up for her. See what I'm talking about? How the gals will stick together? Also, I might add about not taking advice from women. Okay, because if this guy took the advice from women, he would go off and marry this girl. Right? Unbelievable. I asked about the father, and she just told me that I would make, wait for it, a better father since I earn more and had better values. So she was out riding the carousel with Chad and Tyrone during the breakup, but now that she's pregnant, she wants a man that right here says that he earns more money and has better values. Meanwhile, again, things don't go well. If he got with her and decided to raise this child and marry her, the second things don't go right, she'd be off with Chad and Tyrone once again and probably get pregnant again. Unbelievable. And he said, I have no idea. I could tell she really had no idea who got her pregnant. Shocker. I wanted to walk out of this meeting so badly since I couldn't take it anymore. I straight up told Z that I am so sorry to hear about her problems, but I couldn't do anything but morally support her from then on. Before anyone else got a word in, I paid the check and left in a huff. Good. I'm glad you got out of there. You should have gone there in the first place. Once getting there, you should have left the second you saw all the girls there to tag team you and put you in a corner. But you didn't. But you've redeemed yourself by standing up for yourself and finally walking out. Awesome, bro. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't have anything to do with her at all, let alone be the moral support person either. She didn't do anything to deserve it. But guys, like I told you in the beginning of the story, this girl, how she treated him, and she was his ex-girlfriend for a reason, but now she's back in the picture because she wants something. She wants the guy to take care of her and the child because he makes more money and better values. Goes on. I have been going low contact with my family and ghosting Z ever since they still want me to be the father to Z's baby, and my mother has told me that Z will name the baby after me. Oh my God, talk about manipulation. I really wish that this was just some bad dream, but until now, they are still trying to push this notion. They're not backing off. And the reason they're not backing off, like I said, is because they see weakness. But my hope is that this guy will more and more demonstrate strength and eventually have them to get the point. And I'm going to share at the end of this story here what I think this guy should do, how he should handle his family once and for all. My plan is to move nearer to my father and start fresh. So your father is far away from your mom and sister. I wonder why. My future looks bright, and I don't want to ruin it by starting a family before I even turn 30. As for Z, I'm sorry, but she is 31 years old and soon to be a single mother and no sustainable career prospects. There is no way I'm taking her back in. Good. It's not your problem. She's an ex for a reason. She was a piece of crap. She was a piece of garbage, and you don't need that in your life. And like you said here, your future looks bright. Don't screw it up because of this, by being the white knight and the Captain Saver, you know what? There are guys that would do this. Okay, there's guys watching right now that are probably listening to this and say, you know what? Back in the day before I had this knowledge, I might have done the same thing. Don't do it. I might update if anything big happens, but for now, I want to ask, how do you move on from something like this? When your whole family is trying to lead you to a path you don't want to take. My mother has said she knows that what she's asking is selfish, but thinks I should be the bigger person and support Z. Oh my God. What do I even tell them to stop thinking like this? Thank you, SSM. Well, my friend, here's what you need to do. Like I said before, unfortunately, your family, your mom and your sisters, they perceive you as being weak, which is why they have been bugging you to do this in the first place. I know I mentioned this a bunch of times, but I can't stress this enough. They see weakness, so they won't leave you alone because they think eventually they'll bug you enough that you'll cave. Okay? But if they saw you, if they respected you and they saw you as strong and not someone to push around, they wouldn't have done this in the first place. Or maybe they would have done it once, but your no would have meant something, that would have been it. So what I recommend you do, one time you go to your mom and your sister and you sit them down, whether it's at home or Starbucks or wherever, without the Z character, I might add, and you tell them flat out, Mom and sister, there is no way in hell I'm doing this. Okay? There's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. That is her mistake. her problem. She got herself into this situation. That is someone else's dude's child. I'm not going to change my whole life around to go be this white knight to this girl that was a terrible girlfriend to me, who cheated on me regularly and all that. Okay? I know you're going to be speaking in logic and reason, and their language is emotion, but you can say this so that you can say it was said. These are the reasons I'm not getting involved with her, because of her bad past actions. And mark my words, no matter how sorry she claims she is, she'll do it again. And I'll be in a living hell. This is not my child. She needs to go track down the baby daddy, whoever that may be, in the neighborhood or in the town or the city. And it's his problem. I do not want to hear about this again. Do not bring this up again. If you bring this up again, I'm out of here. You're not going to hear from me anymore. Do you understand this? And you got to mean it, okay? It's unfortunate that you have to pretty much say, that's it, I'm cutting off my family completely. But they won't leave you the hell alone. They're trying to get you to change your life for this chick, okay? It'd be one thing if this 100% was your child. That'd be a different ball game in this situation, and I can understand why the mother and sister would be pushing. But no, this is someone else, some other dude's child that got her pregnant, and all the horrible stuff she did to you while you were together. That's why you broke up. So make it abundantly clear that that's it. Do not bring this up again. Hear my reasons why. I'm moving forward to having my own life. And by the way, mom and sister, you get your own life. Okay? You don't say that initially unless they've been really pissing you off. And here's the deal. You need, again, this is what I would do. And I advise you do. And you can say this. You don't need to yell and be a jerk about it. Just calmly say this. And if they try to push you and give you a hard time, say, well, that's it. I'm walking away. Don't ever call me. Don't text me. Don't email me. That's it. And when you, and my friend here, the guy who wrote this story, you say something like this, of course, in your own words, you have to mean it. Okay, if you're going to say something like this, you only say it if you mean it, and you're going to stick with it. Because mark my words, they're going to test you. Mark my words, they're going to see if they can get you to change your mind. That's what they do. Because, one, that's how the gals operate. But number two, they see weakness, and they're going to test. When women see weakness, they test. So, you say something like this, and you absolutely mean it, and you walk away, and they start bugging you, whoosh, you're done. Move on. It sounds harsh, but unfortunately, you have to show a real demonstration of strength for them to get to respect you. And then you walk away, that's it, you're done, and stay with your father, because they're not adding any value to your life. They're trying to drag you down. What kind of caring mother and sister would drag their son and brother down just because of their harebrained, warped idea how things ought to be? No. They're not showing, they're showing you that they care more about her than you. And this may hurt. This may not be something you want to hear, but I'm being honest with you, man. I've lived longer than you. I've experienced plenty of things, and I sure as hell have heard every crazy story known to man in the last year and a half since I've done this. I started this channel. You have to demonstrate strength, and you have to mean what you say, and understand that at the end of the day, human beings can be shit and selfish, and they're being selfish, and they're being shit. They don't have your interest. Your interest should come first, not their friend. So that's what I would advise you to do. That's how I'd handle the situation. And if they respect that, which I don't expect them to do right away, cool. But if they don't respect it, then you're walking away and you're moving on. And you want to have family? Well, better to have no family than a crappy family interfering with your life and causing you problems. But you have your dad. Hopefully you have a good relationship with him. And you go spend time with your dad. But but if those two don't respect it, cut them off. You don't need it in your life. And let me tell you, man, you're obviously on your purpose. You want to do well for yourself. I want you to get back to getting that master's degree. And I want you to do well for yourself and make your life the way you want it to be. Okay, because the only person who can do it is yourself. But believe me, as I tell many guys on this channel, as you are trying to better yourself and make your life better, people are going to try to derail you one way or another so you can be back to their level. Trust me. And like I said in the beginning about weakness, when you demonstrate weakness, people will try to take advantage of you. Okay? And obviously in the past, you've demonstrated weakness, so that's why you're dealing with the situation you are now. But you got a perfect chance now to demonstrate strength. But if you're going to demonstrate it and say something, you got to mean it and stick with it. So, but anyhow, you get the point. I've gone on long enough here. So, but anyhow, guys, I thought this was a good story to go over to show you exactly how Like I said, the gals stick together typically no matter what happens. You know, it's crazy, but yeah, trying to get this guy to marry her, even though it's not his kid, right? But anyhow, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also, guys, if you ever have a great story you want to share with me, a personal story or a crazy article or something you came across online, send it to me. You can see the email in the description. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely go over it. And if you're going to send a personal story, guys, make sure you write it well. A lot of guys jam all the words together and the sentences together, and I can't read it, and I don't have time to be an editor, okay? Write it extremely well if it's easy for me to read, and if it's something that definitely works, I'll definitely do it. I might not do it right away. I might be a really good one, but I might tuck it away and do it a couple weeks later or even a couple months later, but I generally will get back to it. But I do get flooded with emails, so I do my best to go through them. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.